Alright, Merciful Savon, here we are again with another Bleach Brave Souls video, and in this one, it's about that time again for the Limit Breaker quest. So as usual, we're just going to go ahead, take a look at the rules for this one, go over the best in slot characters and some substitute characters that you can use if you don't have the best ones. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please leave a like. If you are new to the channel or you have been here for a while, please consider subscribing and help me get to 250 subscribers. I am making my way there. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so first things first, this Limit Breaker quest will be available the 8th and all the way until the 17th. So the sooner you get it done, the better, but you do have plenty of time to get this one done. So let's go ahead and take a look at these rules. For the first slot, we have Power Ranged Unit with E Ranker. So you're going to be looking for a ranged Power Ranker kill unit, and there's also freeze on the ground, so do watch out for that. For the second slot, we're going to have a Powered Melee No Affiliation Killer unit, which also has the freeze status element. And last but not least, we're going to have human enemies, so you're going to need a Powered Human Killer unit. And on this one, the status effect on the ground is poison. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. So basically for this Limit Breaker quest, you're going to need power units for a Ranker, No Affiliation, and humans. The Ranker killer is going to have to be ranged, the No Affiliations are going to have to be a melee unit, and for the human, ranged or melee will work. It's just really anyone that will do. And so let's go ahead and take a look at some characters for this Limit Breaker quest. Okay, so for the power ranged or Ranker killer units, you're going to have the new Rukia that just came out recently. She is as you can see, a power Ranker killer unit. She has a soul trait of strong attack, recharge time minus 12%. Take a look at her skills real quick. She is ranged with freeze on all of her abilities except her SA2. Her SA2 is the heal. She has the medic skill and she is immune to freeze, which is good. She has the skills team/party power, attribute strong attack, recharge 20%, so she's going to be really good since she has the skill. The other power units in the party will definitely be able to take advantage of that skill, which is good. She has a base full stamina damage boost of 20%. She has the rampage skill, which is great to have. She has Havoc 20%, Frenzy +2, Defibrillator +5 seconds, increased status element chance against Technique attribute enemies, damage to frozen enemies, Sharpshooter, Healer, and the status element Spiritual Pressure boost. So yeah, this is definitely the best unit to use, really. I mean, she just has a lot of great skills. She has the Rampage skill, Frenzy +2, and she has the Power attribute, Strong Attack, Recharge 20% skill, which is great. But if you're like me, you don't have her, you can also use this Yumichika if you have him as well. He is a power Ranker killer unit, same soul trait as the Rukias. He doesn't have any status elements on his abilities, but he has a ranged unit. He has Havoc 20%. He has team/party recover stamina in between stages, which is really good to have. If you take some damage, you can, just take advantage of that skill to heal some of the damage back. He has a 60% Berserker and Devastation, which is good. He has the increased power attribute character movement speed 30%. He is a Link Slide Potion unit and Droplet unit, so he's great for farming. Frenzy +1, increased power attribute character strong attack damage 20%. He also has Guard Break and plus Pierce Iron Skin. So this is another good character you can use. He increases the power attribute character strong attack damage by 20% and also increases their movement speed by 30%. So this is definitely another great character that you can use as well, and he can also heal you in between the stages. And some other units that we have here that we can take a quick look at is this Lunar New Year's Rangeku. She came out a couple years ago. She has the same soul trait as the previous units. She is a ranged unit with paralysis on all her abilities, and her soul bomb is able to revive your allies if you are just get knocked out. She also recovers stamina between stages. She also has read rank or dodges, which is cool. She does have the immobilizer skill, which just basically inflicts paralysis every 5 seconds. She has full stamina damage boost to start off 20%, which is good. Havoc 20%, Frenzy +1, Defibrillator +5 seconds. Increased status element chance against technique, attribute, or ranker enemies, which is an okay skill, but this will only work against ranker enemies. If you take her up against any other technique, attribute units, this skill is pretty much useless. Spencer +1 and guard break. So a pretty old unit, but still has some decent skills that you can use. Take a look at a couple more units here. This Kaname, he's a couple years old. He has a soul trait of decreased damage taken 20%. He has weakening on all of his abilities. He is immune to paralysis, which, I mean, in the current Limit Breaker quest it's free, so this skill is pretty much not the best. Flurry +1, Defibrillator +5 seconds, Poise, Guard Break, and yeah, he's just a NAD unit that you can use. I guess another decent unit that we can take a look at is this Burn the Witch Bruno right here. He has a Soul Reaper and a Raker Killer, 2 great killers to have. He has weakening on his abilities, which is good. He has Sprinter +2, Last Ditch Survival, Havoc 20%, Frenzy +1, Bombardment +1, Defibrillator +5 seconds, Poise, Sharpshooter, and hit hidden enemies. And so yeah, he's another good unit to use. He's quite old now though, and he isn't immune to any status elements, so you have to be careful of those status elements that are on the ground. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, the best in slot characters would be the Rukia or the Shumichika. If you have them, they're really great, but if you don't have them, then you can use some of these other units as well if you want to. So for as power, no affiliation, melee killer units, you don't have a lot of options here. You have this Yami that came out a while ago. He has a soul trait of damage to weaken enemies 35%. He has weakening on all of his abilities. He does have fire resistance, and he does have Innovator, which just basically inflicts weakening every 5 seconds. He has a Bruiser of 50%, Berserker of 60%, Long Reach 20%, Flurry +1, Defibrillator +5 seconds, and he's just basically a guild quest unit really. As you can see here, he does have the increased killer 30%, and it's 50% in guild quest. And then he does have Poise, Guard Break, and some more, skills to help him out with his damage in guild quest. And he also has the increased power attribute or ranker damage to status of element affected enemies 40% skill. So if you have him, it seems like he's probably going to be the best in slot unit, even though he is a guild quest unit. Maybe take a quick look at this Neliel here. She has a soul trait of strong attack recharge time -12%. She has weakening on all of her abilities. She has team/party stamina recovery, which is a good skill to have. She does have the complete status immunity 100%, which is good. She is a super potion unit, which is good. She has Havoc 20%, Frenzy +2, Defibrillator +5 seconds, increased status element chance against technique attribute enemies, damage to weakened enemies 40%, Marauder, hit hidden enemies 100%. So yeah, this Neliel would be good to have. She is immune to all status elements, have a 20% Frenzy +2, and the increased status element chance against technique attribute enemies is great. And she also deals 40% more damage to the weakened enemies. So yeah, she's okay. You can use this Safwi Soifon if you have her. I have her. She's pretty good. She does have the booster skill on her SA2, which is great. She has paralysis and poison on her abilities. Guard Break, fire resistance. She has a 60% bruiser, flurry +1, defibrillator +5 seconds, enhancer, poise, and multi-barrier +2, which is good. Yeah, pretty old unit, but still a good unit to have, especially with that SA2. it'll be good to use her here. So yeah, for the second stage, not a lot that you can work with. I say if you have this Yami, you can use him, but maybe the Neliel or this Sulfon will probably get the job done for you. Okay, so for the powered human killer units, you don't have a lot of units here that you can work with. You do have the Ebon. His soul trait is technically slot potions +5. He's a ranged unit with lacerate on all of his abilities. Guard break plus hit hidden enemies, havoc 20%. And he has a berserker 40%, devastation 60%, reduced strong attack cooldown 12%. He has some increased drop skills, so he's just really basically a farming unit. He has frenzy +2, increased power attribute character special move damage 30%, and also damage to lacerated enemies 60%. So if you have him, you can use him if you want to, but he's just really a farming unit because he has like so many skills here that just gives you increased drops. And then we have the swimsuit Riruka, who is next. She has a soul shred of damage inflicted at full stam 30%, which is a good skill to have. She has drained on all of her abilities. She has a heal on her SA3. It's also a charged healing move, and she does have a revive mechanic on her soul bomb. She has medic, full stamina only, increased strong attack damage 40%, and at full stamina only, reduced strong attack cooldown 6%. Berserker 40%, devastation 40%. Reduced strong attack cooldown 12%. She is a link slot potion unit +10, which is good to have. Havoc 20%, frenzy +1, defibrillator +2 seconds, sprinter +1, and also guard break. So I say this is pretty much the character you would want to use instead of that Ebon. Maybe if you have her. I mean, I think she just has a lot more, you know, DPS skills other than the Ebon does. Full stamina damage boost 30%, and she also does some other things at full stamina as well, which is good. Then up next we have the Love that came out, I believe, he came out over a year ago now. He has the soul trait of strong attack, recharge time 14%. Burn on all of his attacks. He's a melee unit and he does have poison resistance, which is good. Sprinter +1, last hit survival, berserker, and devastation is at 40%. Havoc 20%, frenzy +1, defibrillator +2 seconds. He comes with weakened defense, which is okay, and he also has long strike. So yeah, this character is over a year old. If you don't have any of the previous units, you can use him as well. And as for that, that's pretty much it. I mean, she's a Psychomon unit, but she's really only used for like links, and this unit, she's just incredibly old. I don't think you would really want to use her. And yeah, those are some of the characters that you can use for this Limit Breaker quest. So I guess I'm just going to go ahead and set up my team and show some gameplay. Alright, so here is my team for the current Limit Breaker quest. Unfortunately, I don't have the newer units, so these units that I have are pretty old, but they should be able to help me clear some of the stages in the Limit Breaker quest. As for the Bruno, I'm going to be using the Kamari, Fortification Pill, Katakuran. As for the Link, it's going to be a Psychomon Chad, and some full stamina damage boost units for Links. And yeah, he is 5 out of 5 extra Senate with the 500 SP in the last slot. And if you care about his bonus abilities, it is full stamina damage boost, which is bringing me up to 105% full stamina damage boost with the links and the bonus ability. And I gave him weakened defense just because he does have bombardment on here. Moving on to the next unit, I am going to be using the Safwi Soifon. Here are her accessories: Golden Chappy, Hollow Bait, and some normal attack damage links. And as for her bonus abilities, I gave her full stam, and in the recent update, you are able to give these units basic stats, so I just gave her that plus 200 attack for the second bonus ability, since this is probably the best thing I can give her for the second one. So there's that. And as for him, going to be the T-set, fortification pill, tennis badge, just some leftover link, full stem links, and just this Yamamoto, who's 5 out of 5, which is just giving him a little bit more stats. And as for his bonus abilities, oh yeah, forgot to mention, he is 2 out of 5 focus, and SP is at level 10. Bonus abilities, full stamina damage boost, and also I gave him the plus 200 SP for the second bonus ability. Alright, so let's just go ahead and jump into this limit breaker quest. So for me, I think this is probably going to be the most difficult one because, well, the Bruno won't have any problems since he's max transcended, so he'll be fine. But I think these other units might just struggle a little bit. The Soifon, not so much, just because she does have this boost skill. She doesn't have the booster skill, she just has the enhancer. And the multi-barrier skill is also nice to have as well. The Love, I mean, he's okay, really. I think he was one of the last few arena units that they released for the game. They don't release arena banners anymore, so he was one of the last few ones. So he's just mostly an arena unit, but he's still decent in PvE content. As you saw, he's one of the few power human kill units we have in the game, so I just took a lot, too much damage. Well, there goes that force now. Oh, I lost that way too fast. But if you're lucky enough to have the newer units, and I'm pretty sure this, you really won't have a problem with this limit breaker quest. Yeah, I'm taking too much damage. I knew it was going to happen sooner or later to where I wasn't going to have like the best in slot characters for the limit breaker quest. Which is still fine. I should still be able to get a decent amount of transcendence points. Yeah, this is definitely not going to be my best run. Yeah, it took me a while to get those units. I don't know why those units are just tanky for like no reason. I noticed that last time, I forgot which limit breaker quest it was, but I believe it was the one after the 1000-year Blood War banner after the 8th anniversary. I used the Uryu, I think it was, for like the limit breaker quest, but when I actually pulled for that 1000-year Blood War Yachiru, I pretty much killed those tankier units faster. So I think having the best in slots units would make killing those like extremely tanky units a lot easier. Yeah, this is definitely not the best run. I took way too many hits early, and I lost my force down too fast. Yeah, kind of struggling with this one. I already used my soul bomb with that Bruno. It is definitely something I'm going to have to run back if I want a better score. Actually, if I can't kill these enemies, this just might be it. At least I don't have to worry about the poison status element on the ground. Maybe instead of full stem links, just go like recharge reduction links. That'd probably be best. Alright, so that was my team and my run of the current limit breaker quest. Obviously it definitely wasn't the best. These are not really the best in slot characters that you can use. I mean, the Bruno, he's pretty much better than the other units just because he is max transcended in 5 out of 5. So yeah, he's probably pretty much the best character that I have for this Limit Breaker quest. If you guys got the newer units, they'll probably have an easier time clearing this than I did. And yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And thank you for watching. And as usual, until next time.